Hi, hello, and welcome to the Lunar Lounge brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the full moon in Taurus. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. The delight and an honor and a privilege to serve. Thank you for allowing us to do so. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. You belong, so welcome home. We will be imposing the guidance from Thoth Tarot. That's by Aleister Crowley, illustrated by Lady Frida Harris, published by US Game System. We will also be using the minor arcana to clarify our findings. And that's the minor arcana from Cosmic Coven Tarot by Lillian Lazenby over at Ripe Avocado. And again, that'll be to clarify any type of like pairing or matching energy. We will also be deliberating the findings through the Daily Oracle by Vida Sibila. That's by Los Scarabeo. And that will be used to clarify any type of combinatory or correlative energy. Just a quick prayer for all of the lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the sea of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional, loving, universal oneness. Hana, great spirit, we love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered. We ask that our path be illuminated. We ask that we find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May we be happy, may we be whole, may we be at peace, may we receive everything we ever wanted, starting what we deserve. I mean, okay, so we have the Nine of Swords and the Ace of Cups clarifying this Judgment card. The Nine of Swords typically means something's getting stuck. Unpopular read, but that's what it is. It could tell us that, well, here, there's some distress to the heart. There's an opportunity trying to come into the environment surrounding location. There's something trying to come onto the scene, yet it's difficult. Really what's needed, could we have a double ace here? A pair of aces means some type of new union. It really is a union with the divine. It's not seen here because there's some laws here, mostly karma. So less the law of man and more the law of the universe. And I know this is spirit filled because the moment we started the reading here, it got very cold. This spirit contact. So ultimately, we have a vision and we kind of need to go towards it, but we need to tell people how we feel or what we're doing, not necessarily be intent on how it's done. There is this sense here that we're kind of ripe within the self. And if that's not the case, that's where it's going. When the moon is full in Taurus, it means for the last 6 months, we have been planting seeds about what brings us comfort and how we're standing and how we're sturdy in the world. And it's coming out of a place of values. The things we invest our time, energy, effort, and attention into, those are our priorities. And it might not seem like it, but wherever most of our time goes, that's really what our priorities are. Now there's going to be some type of illumination and purging or transitioning, and it's going to be a container being closed. So now we're going to start for the next 6 months. Now we're going to start to shed the karma around our values. And it's going to appear in the places right now, initially, of partnership. A lot of others are going to confront or mirror back where we're kind of safe and secure within the self. there's a lot of energy around us where I'm hearing this and it's unpleasant. This is saying that they're going to try to, walk all over us, and not always that stringent. Yes, for some of us, yes, it's true. But if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So people intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously, overtly or covertly, macro or micro aggressively, they may try to walk us like a dog, patronize us, pay lip service, something of that nature. And it is going to kind of come out and be heavy. And there is some guilt here. Something has gone not right. Nine of Swords with the judgment, Nine of Swords with the justice. Both of those mean indictment. So something, someone is guilty of something. We're on the distress side. This other side is actually guilty of something. They've done something they shouldn't. And it's going to be a change in how we're seen, a change in reputation. And there's something here that's actually strict, sober, severe. So I'm saying they're going to try to walk us like a dog because they're going to come at us, trying to get us to change is what I'm sensing. And it's not that they have done this or they're going to do this. This is what's been going on for the last 6 months, and it's universal. This is not a personal one-on-one reading. It's talking about what the energy that we've been going through for the last 6 months has been producing. And over the next 6 months, we're going to put an end to this. Consciously, unconsciously, it's going to end. So people are not going to come at us having an expectation that they don't share. People are not going to work on us, work around us, work at us with an intention or an agenda that they're not being open and honest and forthcoming with. Maybe they don't share it up front, but if we ask, if we examine, if we investigate, it should come out willingly and readily, or they're not right. Hiding one's intention means deception's around the corner. And some people don't intend to deceive, they're deceiving themselves. A person cannot give us what they can't give themselves. We should never seek peace, seek alignment, seek justice, seek fairness with a person that's at war with themselves. And so some of this is just that. We're wanting things, we're needing things from people that are not capable of giving them to us. And the thing about Taurus is, you know the truth by the way it feels. Either it is or it isn't. Substance needs no proof. Either it is or it isn't. We don't need to have this agenda. We don't need to be stunning or fronting or cap or none of that. If it doesn't ring true, if it doesn't feel right, that's what it is. That's just as much data as somebody coming in and doing it the right way, the perfect way, laying it down how it sounds. All of that is just data. And that's the thing. It's just data. We can arrive at a conclusion on our own. Another person doesn't need to tell us what to think, tell us what to feel, tell us what to do. They just need to say what's up. If we want to come through, if we want to stand in business, the details or the information needs to be readily available, or that means that they're not messing with us, not in the right way. To collaborate, to co-create, to cooperate, things need to be readily available and accessible and present. That's what I'm getting here. Because it's saying that over the next few weeks, yeah, this leaving this full moon, the 2 weeks after that, it's going to bring a lot of, I was going to say unpleasant information. It said difficult. It's going to bring out a lot of difficult information, but it's going to bring with us what to do, how to navigate, how to accelerate, how to plant seeds where they should, because we were planting seeds in unfertile soil. I'm going to say it that way and move on. Oh, wait, we had a double ace. So a pair of aces means union. So that's not just pairings, that's a match. So there's a little bit of relationship energy, whether it's soulmate or not, whether it's twin flame or not, whether it's romantic, filial, congenial. We have a narrative here for masquerade. So somebody is running around not being honest, maybe with themselves, attempts to conceal their feelings and authentic intentions. Is what I'm getting. Somebody here, it's powerless. I'm wearing a mask by appearing happy and serene in front of others when I am alone. I think about you and I realize that my true authentic self is when I was with you. So they need to be what they are, how they are, and what they're about. That's being withheld for whatever reason. And it's probably because there needs to be some kind of self-love here that's been withheld because they're at a critical junction. I know I have I know now I have control of my life. No one is holding me captive and no one is controlling my circumstances. I recognize the power of my free will and I choose to be happy. However, there was some kind of depressive state or depressive attitude because they did something in the past. Nine of Swords means that something went down and they couldn't come out of it. That's the thing. If you're going the wrong direction, turn around as soon as possible because if you keep going because you're unsure, when you do finally turn around, you have much further to go to return to zero, to return to stasis, to return to normal. Let me say it this way. If you lose 10% on your portfolio, it takes 20% gain just to break even. Let me say it this way. This is, we love social science here. So in social science, an offense, an insult hurts twice as much as a compliment, which means for every one insult, you need to hear 4 compliments just to break even to the same amount of rapport that there was in the relationship. It could take 2 years to build up trust that could be lost overnight. It's that kind of, so, they're in this depressive, dependent, spiteful, escapist, emotional, extremist, maybe even obsessive. Because we're dealing with them when we don't really know what to do. And there's no specific them, it's general. We're dealing with people, we don't know really what to do because they're not coming at us in a way that we need them so we could cooperate and co-create accordingly. There's a lot of energy trying to bond, trying to unify, trying to make friends, trying to make babies with us. And, we don't know what they want because they're weird. It's disconcordiant. So yeah, the scene is changing. Death card and the Judgment usually means the reputation changes or what we see changes or the story changes, the script flips. It could be women's rights here. And said differently, I'm just going to translate. It's not always women's rights. Women make as much as men, it very well can be. Sometimes it's that the subtle things that aren't said, that aren't seen, are never acknowledged. For instance, they might not have considered our feelings. Maybe people were not seeing that we had our own side of the road or our own side of the story. Maybe we appear one way when really we're another way, and that could be projection. People could be going off, surface level, superficial things. There's a truth and it's hidden. It's below the surface here, and it will bring everything into alignment. It also could mean that somebody has their moon in Libra. Also here, somebody might have their Pluto in Scorpio. Okay, so we just got a reaction to moon in Libra. There's a spitefulness here, though, maybe some contempt with Il Nemico, because there was some type of union, and I feel like the divine wanted us to be on the same page. And see, the thing is that we have some disappointed feelings here. We've actually been made to cry. That's what I was sensing with that High Priestess and the Justice card. The thing about it is that we actually have some true, genuine feelings, and someone there under the impression that we don't care. A situation completely died. Death card with the Ten of Swords. They might even left us behind, left us, walked away, broke up. Doesn't always need to be romantic, but broke up. With the Death card here, it could be purging. It also could be that the Mars is in the 8th house or in Scorpio. We truly wanted to be of service, and there's some ego here, la superbia. I'm detecting that there's a lot of energy around us where individuals, whomever these individuals are, no one in specific, come towards us and they want more than they share. And they might do this little fancy footwork or some like little hidden mating ritual where we're seeing them flailing around with their and preening with their little feathers or whatever. Let's just gotta be a peacocking, literally. And we're not, this could mean ego, this could mean immaturity, this could also just mean, you know, monkey see, monkey do, look at me, and know what I want without me actually saying it. Read my mind, look at my behavior, do what I do. Let me treat you like I expect you to treat me when really, once you get to a certain point in life, I'm going to say age, but it could be more than that. Say what you want and make sure your actions match what you say. You know, talk and walk and all of that. So it's given me two things. There was affection towards us. It could have been romantic or otherwise, and they feel slighted because we never kind of warmed up, became more accessible. And again, the next 2 weeks is going to share a lot of this. That there's been disappointment, and it's actually saying that our disappointment is going to come out over the next 2 weeks, but it could be on the other side just as well. And this position that somebody is holding or carrying might also end, but I also feel like this relationship is not whatever connection this is. It doesn't need to be romantic. I haven't seen love, but although I did see union, that union felt like it was the divine. The divine brought us together with someone, and it didn't really go well because of ego. I don't feel the ego was on our side. And they have this opinion that we're cold and heartless, and we have this opinion that they weren't open and honest about what they wanted or expected from us. And that opinion might not be clear to us yet. It will be 2 to 3 weeks from now. Because over the last week, we've been letting things end. We've been fine that they're done. And before we might have been in our mind, racking our brain, trying to figure out why. But now it just is what it is. Yeah, so there's going to be some clarity coming forward in the next few days or so. Really internally, information is going to kind of across our horizon. It's going to, pardon me, we're going to happenstance into some information situation because this has been a karmic lesson. So something 501. So with the 501s, the field, the energetic field, the environment surrounding location, energetically, it does tend to, we have the 3 of Wands and the 5 of Wands. It does tend to kind of let itself known when something, it's a pop, it's like a reaction or an alert. The energy is to repel. 5 of Wands actually repels. Sometimes ego repels, sometimes lower vibrational energies repel. Sometimes a person that is just not at the level, they're going to stick out. It's like a fake degree going into a surgical suite. Everybody around knows that you don't know what you're doing. You can't fake it. There's certain places where you can't fake it, whether it's your energy, whether it's your skills, whether it's your personality, whether it's your demeanor. So I think energetically something's about to get exposed is what I'm getting here. And it's been percolating in the background. Something has been ruminating, oscillating, vacillating for the last week, or there's been some emotional projection for the last week, and it's going to be shared intentionally, unintentionally, and there's going to be a new destiny here or new luck. We might stumble into some kind of, well, we're going to work something out that we've been wanting to work out for a while, and we just got a double seven, which is an alert. So 2 sevens is an alert of some kind here. It's saying that we've been manipulated in some way because there was a facade. It could have been imposter, or it could have been that we were lacking intellect, reasoning, communication in the sense of we needed strategy, cunning, tactics. We didn't think the worst, or we didn't understand the spectrum. We were kind of on the either inexperienced or the naive side of something. We just got a reaction. So yeah, I think somebody was trying to say that they like this, and I'm making it one person, but this is a excuse me, this is a galactic situation here, according to Earth. Their energies were more affectionate than they seemed, when really they had some ideological issue. We have a double five and a double seven. So they were on a losing streak. They needed to work through their tribulation that was making them on the wrong side. They couldn't rise to the level, rise to the occasion. They were pushed back. When really they had the win in their hand. They could have received what they wanted from us if they had just said what it is that they wanted instead of trying to make us guess or make us see or make us read their mind or whatever, do the la superbia, the peacocking. They might have been trying to show us and not tell us, is what I'm getting here. Yeah, because witnessing testimony, it was an answered prayer for them. And it's giving very strongly that we were attractive to somebody, like somebody found us attractive. And it was withheld. It wasn't as it seemed. They were coming, our heart was out on our sleeve. We were being our authentic self. But what we really needed to recognize that the strategy or the cunning that we needed was to see that there was some type of affection towards us that didn't go anywhere. Ideologically, there was a mismatch. They weren't giving us enough idea or this is either ideological or spiritual. They either were absent of spirituality or not in the same ideological frame. Because it's saying they would have won if something just got said. There needed to be skillful communication. That's that's what this is. The teaching here is that if we get an idea, go with it. Maybe not go with it out loud, but explore, investigate. In yeah, about a week ago, something felt left out or lost or left behind or exiled or withdrawn from. Yeah, so this is either melodrama or a mystery getting revealed. And I'm just gonna say it's love here. Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups, it's love. Six of Cups. It's talked about reunion and reconciliation, but for what? Because here's the thing: when a person believes something, is because that's the thing that supports their narrative. If they believe something adverse that they don't want to be true, and they don't come and get, there's no collaboration, cooperation. They don't come and investigate. They don't come and check the facts, try to assess the situation. That's what it is. It means that it was easier to believe whatever they wanted to believe instead of coming to us and saying, hey, I'm having a problem. I can't get around this. Help me understand. Help me feel better about this. They can still walk away and make whatever own decision that they want to make, but at least they assisted the situation. If they arrive at an adverse opinion and they don't come to us and talk about it, it's because whatever opinion they arrived at supported their narrative and that was easier. And I'm not talking about the times when we've shown several times before and that they tried many times before, because that's just the same old behavior. That's what we call continued behavior. But if they had some type of feeling or had some type of expectation and they never shared, never stated their intention, then they walk away feeling some kind of way because they didn't get what they wanted, but they never shared what they wanted, then, expectations are premeditated resentments. Because it's saying that they feel they either feel poor, they feel spiritually bankrupt, or they feel left out. And if the truth were to come out, they would try to work it out. But the thing is, what they're going to work on is something that was existing in the past. Because what we're doing now is moving on, moving forward. We contain the situation by withdrawing our affection. When really before, what was seeming like affection to them was really our just cordiality. I'm hearing the song Mariba Rhythm, I think it's called. I cannot tell who is my friend. I need a little distance between me and them. God knows I'm trying. Yeah, so we did withdraw, move on, move forward. We had to get to higher ground. We weren't going to sit there and be confused. There should have been some massive action. But the wall that we were coming up against was some type of bitterness or sourness, coldness, austerity. when really there was a win mutually. And all we had to do was work towards it. But since something was withheld, something was left on the table. And that's unfortunate, but in the past, so we moved on. So again, over the next 3 months, these things are going to come out of the depths of our subconscious, out of the shadow into the light. And again, when you have the moon and the sun card, it means either melodrama or a mystery gets revealed. And that's the thing. If I was saying La Superbia before, Gran Constellazione, it could have been a grand constellation. It could have been a great thing, but they're settling. They're going the safe route. Okay. So they're looking for evidence to support their theory instead of saying, hey, is any of this here? I'm feeling these things. Can I check with you for a moment? Can I check on you for a moment? Is it mutual or am I imagining? Oh. Okay, so we're a great, big, beautiful person. This is what this says. When you have the Empress and the High Priestess, it means the world is in our hand, number one. Number two, it also means that we're very refined and elegant. We could be otherworldly, we could be worldly in the sense that we speak multiple languages or travel or have multiple homes, or it could just be if we were to get any community together and talk about what was the most sought after qualities, we would possess those qualities. It, it really does mean a great, big, beautiful person. And yeah, so this energy was sitting there being friendly, looking for some kind of entry, and it never would let in because we didn't see it. And we weren't going to go after something. It needed to be presented to us. And that happens sometimes because I've heard this word twice, self-possessed. That just means we're not self-obsessed, not self-absorbed. It means we're self-possessed, we're self-oriented, self-guided, secure in the self. We're not seeking, we're not wanting. Yeah, we may be open to love, but we're not looking for it right now. So unless it gets presented to us, we might not even see it. Yeah, there might be the most beautiful car down the road on discount, and it might even have a for sale sign in the window. But we're not in the market for a car. So unless it gets presented to us, we might not see it. Yeah, there might be the most juiciest peach pie in the world in the supermarket right now. And we might walk right by it when we're running our errands, doing our grocery shopping for the week. But unless it gets presented to us, saying, hey, do you want a slice of peach pie? We might not see it because you know what? We don't have a sweet tooth right now. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that pie. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us. It just means we might not be there. So unless something gets offered, unless something gets presented, unless something is very, very, very clear, because if it gets presented to us in the right way, we would actually choose it. We would choose this. And it is contentment and it is what was intended. It was intended for us to be in alignment with. See, the thing is, we've outgrown this energy, and whatever's opposing us or whatever's mirroring us, because it's not an opposition, I'll be honest, by losing out on us, it grows to the level to get the next thing. And what we've done is outgrow this thing. We've simply outgrown. We're actually not just detached, but we're withdrawn and moving on and moving forward. And so there's some bitterness on this other side because they've really done a lot of thinking. Pensiero, am I right? Yeah, pensiero and la nemica. So their heart's involved. It's not just ego or contempt, their heart is involved. It's regret, remorse, bitterness. Yeah, you see, it keeps repeating, we're a beautiful person, we're a beautiful person, we're a beautiful person, we're a beautiful person. Thanks, appreciate it. This other side desires to put in more work to work it out. Okay, but something here was counterfeit. Something here was not right the whole time, and it could have been contemptful or it's gotten to be that. I want to clarify something that was in the past. And we had a double five, something got debilitated, declined. Yeah, it's because they had some stinking thinking. They were of an opposing energy because they believed that the thing that was right there in front of them, waiting and ready for them. Okay, if somebody had said what they wanted from us or offered it to us, we might have said yes. For whatever reason, according to how we held our energy, they believed it wasn't mutual. And to be honest, it was probably self-worth and value. They didn't have enough. It's the same counterfeit. Something here, it wouldn't have grown into the spot that was waiting because they weren't ready. The work hadn't been done, or they couldn't confront the self, or they have this love or hate in their heart. There was some type of contempt. And over the next week, we'll see how short sighted things were. Because we have truth and we also have a covering on our life. Somebody here might have Venus in the 11th house or in Aquarius. Okay, we're not getting reaction. Somebody here might have, yeah, La Supervia. Since we were so otherworldly, again, it keeps saying that they were hiding their affections. But when it's no longer available, accessible to them, they feel some kind of way about it, vidovo. They're going to be wailing in their sleep about it. And we're also getting here North Node in the 11th house or Aquarius, or it could be Mercury. Could we reach spiritual perfection? Again, this energy. I- to their credit, they were just inexperienced. But see, here's why I'm still looking at it sideways. It's because there's this resentment here. They either have hurt feelings or there's some kind of resentment. Because when the truth comes out, when the receipts get discovered, how much was lost, which was everything. Denari here is really coveted. It's unfortunate. So whatever cycle we went through, Ten of Wands, it was a karmic cycle. And honestly, we didn't have the discernment for this to come in. It wasn't gonna, because it wasn't going to, excuse me, because the road was rife with complications. It wasn't gonna grow because truth wasn't shared or the truth was insurmountable. And I want to say it could have. We weren't afforded that opportunity. Whatever deliberation, discernment we were doing, it couldn't make it past our boundaries and barriers. Now, whatever energy we were coming up against, they're now learned to take massive action. Instead of sitting and waiting, they're not going to do that anymore. Next time, if they want something, they're going to go the distance instead of waiting on the sidelines. And that's what they learned. We could also be dealing with somebody that's some type of Pisces rising. That's really that's it. A Pisces rising. Or Sagittarius midheaven. That's also a Pisces rising. It's the same thing. Same difference. No, it's the same thing because if the top of your chart is Sagittarius, it means the beginning of your chart is Pisces. Yeah, so receiving grace, Six of Swords. if something's alive in them and they're feeling burdened, they need to look for a way out. Whether it's to, okay, excuse my language, but this is what I'm hearing. When I don't agree with what I'm about to say. It could be running away with your tail between your legs, or it could be doing the thing that relieves the comfort. So if you don't know what to do something or do nothing, as long as doing nothing feels okay. Do the thing that relieves depression. The thing here is that there was some type of opportunity for partnership, for union, and it didn't really work out. But the other side that we were dealing with here, we were going through a karmic cycle, and that's fine. So I one thing about this reading I will say is I wish that I was more collective in my language because it's not actually talking about a one person. But it seems like we were growing through something that we found our advantage a little bit ahead of the curve. And the other side, yeah, immerse. So we had gotten into the energy and worked it through. We digested it all when really we didn't realize that there was some type of confrontation that we were having on a repetitive basis. The thing about that is, since we were in our feelings and not saying in a bad way, since we were immersed in our feelings and we were aware of our feelings and we were just going through the motions, if we had felt something or something was presented to us, we would have acted on it. And this other energy that we were dealing with, the energy that was mirroring us, it was still kind of behind the curve. It still needed to learn to confront their feelings, to go through the motions in terms of saying what was alive inside. So we're going to close with the believe believe in your own magic oracle by Amanda Lovelace. Got it. Two of these. Remember to practice self-love. White House, don't doubt your worth. So one thing is if somebody wants a business partner, romantic partner, whatever, they'll let us know. And if we had a misconnection or a false start, it was a lesson. Because what's for you will not pass you by. We could start a revolution just by being our authentic self. Because we were dealing with somebody who's trying to mirror us, trying to anticipate how or do or what or whatever, instead of just coming out with it and risking being sloppy. See, the price you pay to join the circle, the price you pay to gain mastery initially is embarrassment. And what you lack in skill, you make up for in effort. Eventually, you could do less effort, but you have more skill. If you cannot work smart, you have to work harder and work more. And that's the thing people don't understand. And those are tenets I learned in business. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing us privilege to do so. If anything resonated deeply with you, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a consult, send a donation. Remember to smash that like button, and we'll see you in the next one. Take good care. Bye-bye.